Welcome back, everyone. This is 3.4, dividing polynomials. Back in your elementary school days, you did long division. So we are going to actually do long division to find the quotient and remainder of a problem like this. And it says x cubed minus 9x squared plus 26x minus 27, all divided by x minus 4. So right now, I'm going to show you the long division method, and then I'm going to show you the shortcut that only occurs when the x has no exponent power. So long division setup. Think of you're doing a long division bar. So we're going to write x minus 4, and inside our division bar, we have x cubed minus 9x squared plus 26x minus 27. So how do we go about long division? Remember back in the olden days, like if you were dividing 5, how many times does 5 go into 129? 5 went into 12 2 times, and then you did your multiplication, subtracted. Same situation. So only we are starting with the beginning values only. So first thing we're going to do is x cubed divided by x. And that reduces to x squared. So x squared is going to sit on top of where the 9x squared is. So whatever your reduction is going to sit on top of the previous piece. So, and think of an imaginary multiplication not being in the corner. And you're just going to multiply. So x squared times x gives you x cubed. X squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Once you're at this point, draw a line, and you're going to change the signs. So this becomes negative, and this becomes positive. And then you're gonna, after that, you're just gonna add down. So x cubed minus x cubed, it cancels out. Short $9, found $4, you are short 5x squared. Now, since our problem had 2 pieces to start with, we need to be working with 2 situations. So here's our first term. You are sliding down positive 26x. And then we're going to repeat the same thing again. Only now this is our starting point. So I'm going to do a blue line, and this is what we're going into. So negative 5x squared divided by x reduces to negative 5x. So you're going to write negative 5x above. You are not looking at the x squared, you're looking at the negative 5x. So you're going to do the multiplication again. Negative 5x times x, that is negative 5x squared. Negative 5x times a negative 4, that is positive 20x. Draw your line. Again, you are going to change the signs. So this becomes positive, that becomes negative. Negative 5 and positive 5 cancels out. Positive 26 minus 20 makes it positive 6x. And then bring down the negative 27. Here's our new starting point. So again, x is underlined. This is our new starting point. So we have positive 6x divided by x, and results in 6. So I'm going to write a positive 6. We're going to do the same thing. 6 times the 4, that's 6x. 6 times the negative 4, that is a negative 24. Draw your line. Change the signs. So this becomes negative, that becomes positive. Positive 6 and negative 6 cancels out. Short $27, found 24, you're short 3. So up here it says the quotient is, well, what's above your long division bar? X squared minus 5x plus 6. Your remainder is the negative 3. Remember earlier at the start of the problem, I said that there was long division and there's synthetic division. Synthetic division I'm going to show you on example number 2. Okay, so synthetic division. The only difference between long division and synthetic division is that in synthetic, we don't deal with the variables, we're just dealing with the coefficients. So the next thing you need to know first before you start any problem is make sure that your powers are in decreasing power. in the numerator line. So power of 5, power of 4, power of 3, power of 2, power of 1, no power. Is all correct. The bottom, and then for synthetic, you have to make sure that the x has no power, so it's just a plain x. That's what I want. Power of x equal to the first power that I can do synthetic. So synthetic means we're inverting. So when you set up your problem, you're going to take the bottom piece, x minus 1, and set equal to 0, so x is equivalent to 1. So the reason why I did that is so I know what I'm using for my multiplication pieces. So you're going to write a 1 and then invert. So the long division is flipped upside down. And then you're going to pick the coefficients of each of your terms in the numerator line. Remember, x to the 5th has to be there. There's a value for it. There's a 1 in front of it. So I'm going to write a positive 1. Then here, it's a negative sign, so I know there is a negative 1. We have a positive 9. We have a negative 9. We have another positive 9. Then we have a negative 14. I kept the signs for each of my pieces to make it easier for when we go to add straight down. So in synthetic, step 1 is slide the first term down. So 1 comes down. Step 2, you're going to multiply by the outside number diagonally. So we see the 1 and we are multiplying diagonally by the positive 1 that's on the outside. So 1 times 1 makes it a positive 1. Third is you add down and then repeat step 2 and 3. So we add down. I'm short $1, found $1, I am 0. Again, we are multiplying by the 1. 0 times 1 is still 0. And you add down. Positive 9 and 0 gives you a positive 9. Again, multiply diagonally. 9 times 1 is a positive 9. When you add straight down, you get a 0. Again, multiply diagonally. Times a 1, so I get a 0. Positive 9 and 0 gives you a positive 9. Multiply by the 1, get a positive 9 here. But when you finalize it, short 14, found 9, you're short 5. That last digit, this is the remainder. Now, how do you know how to list these, what variables happen here? So look at your starting value. So look at original. It started at x to the 5th. So you are going to be 1 less than the start. So this is going to be a 1x to the 4th power. This should be the x to the 3rd power, but it's got a 0 value to it. Positive 9x to the 2nd power. 0x, positive 9. So now when you go to write your quotient, anything that has a 0 in front of it, you ignore. So you're going to write your answer as x to the 4th plus 9x to the 2nd plus 9. That is your quotient. So x to the 4th, positive 9x to the 2nd, positive 9. And then your remainder is the number that ended up in the box, which is negative 5. And that's how you do synthetic division. Now, do you have to use synthetic division? No, it's a choice. If you like the long division route, you can go long division. I'm just giving you another format of how to go about it. Moving on to our next example. Remember what I stated earlier, if it has an exponent in the denominator, then we cannot use synthetic. So when I look at this problem, it says 2x squared, power 2, which means I cannot use synthetic. Now in this situation, we have powers missing. And when I look at it in our numerator, it is not in decreasing power. So the first thing we want to do is rewrite this in decreasing power. So this becomes power of 3 needs to come first. So 2x cubed minus 14x squared positive 7x minus 30. Now our denominator has a power that's missing. So I'm going to put a placeholder. I'm going to have my 2x squared, but I'm going to put plus 0x positive 5. It's going to make your long division simpler to do. So this is we're going to be dividing by, and we're dividing into that. So we're going to start out with writing our piece, 2x squared, positive 0x, positive 5, and it's going into 2x cubed minus 14x squared plus 7x minus 30. And we're going to do what we did on the first example. This is our starting point. This is what we're dividing into. So 2x cubed divided by 2x squared. The 2's are going to cancel. And the x is reduced to a value of x. So x is the only term. It's going to sit all the way above the 7x. Remember, imaginary dot means multiplication. It's implied. So we're going to multiply diagonally. So 2x times the 2x squared makes it 2x cubed. X times 0x, remember, it's just going to be 0x squared. X times a 5, there's our 5x. And then remember what we said earlier was you're going to change the signs. So this becomes negative, that becomes negative, that becomes negative. So 2 minus 2 cancels out. Short 14, short 0, I'm still short 14x squared. Had $7 but spent 5, I have a 2x. And then since we have 3 terms here, we need to work with 3 terms. We're going to start again. So here's our new starting value. We're starting at 14x squared and then our 2x. So I'm going to write negative 14x squared divided by 2x squared.